Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing my weekly review for this week's episode of Fear the Walking Dead Season 2. This one is for the second episode, Episode 2, which is called We All Fall Down. And spoiler warning, if you guys haven't seen this episode yet, you're going to want to watch it before you watch my review. So this is a difficult episode to review for me. It's hard for me to even find. It's hard to find enough stuff to talk about because here's the deal with this episode. As was in the description, we meet a survivalist family. I'll give a synopsis first. We meet a survivalist family on Catrina Island. They were headed towards San Diego, but they found out from the log from last episode that there's nothing there. The whole place has been basically napalmed, and all up the coast, a lot of the major cities and everything have been just blown sky high. As we find out from exposition from George, we meet George and his survivalist family. So we meet the family, we get to know the family, and then at the end of the episode, again, spoiler warning, the family's basically killed, or not entirely. I mean, you have Seth and you have his little brother. George, we don't know, but we know that the zombie mother was able to make it out, so is he dead too? We're not sure. We didn't get to see that, but we can probably assume that he most likely is, otherwise he would have put her down. Maybe he took one of the pills himself. But again, we're left to fill it. Unless I miss a scene, I'm not sure that they didn't show that to us. So the end of the episode was pretty exciting. You have the zombie daughter, she takes a pill and she attacks the mother, and that's pretty shocking and stuff. And you have George, he's there, and then they leave, and Seth comes to get his brother and points, gunpoint, holds everybody up. Dan's almost ready to shoot him, which was cool. And you get a bit of an intense scene, and then they leave, and then he puts down the zombie mother, and he's got his brother. So here's the issue with this episode. Nothing changes with regards to our main group all that much. The changes with our main group are basically that Strand is found out by Daniel that he's heading to Mexico. We don't know why. He's got a pretty good, looks like some kind of submachine gun there, and got some different stuff, and has been hiding stuff, been in communication with somebody there. We don't know what that's all about. So we're still kind of finding out what that's about, and Daniel's suspicions were correct that they need to really keep an eye on him. I thought it was funny when they brought the kid on, and Strand's like, oh, get it out of here. He's like talking about the kid like he's an item, like, get him out of here. We don't need him. He's dead weight. Kids not useful, this kind of thing. Just so insensitive. It was pretty funny. So there's that. With regards to the rest of our characters, we get like some exposition from George about what's happening. Travis gets to kind of find out that there may not be anywhere safe, and they kind of, at the end of the episode, they head off again without adding on the kid to the roster or Seth to the roster, or anybody. So we meet this family, we go through a whole episode with the family, and then the episode ends, and then we leave again. So it's like, okay, if we never see those two again, if we never see Seth and his little brother again, what does it do for the show as a whole? That's the question. Now, we're only 2 episodes in, so it's kind of hard to tell at this time, but it's a weird feeling to me because, you have shows, okay, different types of shows, of course, but with shows like this and The Walking Dead, Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones, other shows like this, we generally tune in because we're getting to see a story over many episodes. We're going to see sequential, episodic. You're not getting just kind of like a comedy show, for example, like if you were to watch The Simpsons. If you miss an episode of The Simpsons, it's probably no big deal. Most of the time, you miss one, you can watch the next one, and you're filled in. You haven't missed anything. There isn't anything that you really need to see in between. This episode 2, for me, the problem with it is that you might be able to skip this episode, watch episode 1 and episode 3, skip episode 2, and be in the same position as someone who watched it. And I don't like that. At least if they added the kid onto their group and someone skipped the episode, in episode 3, they'd be like, hey, who's that? Where did he come from? I guess I should have watched episode 2. It's like you watch every episode, right? So that's a weird one for me. Like they start in one position, they spin their wheels or they spin their propeller, and then they end up in the same position afterwards. They haven't really gone anywhere. They haven't really advanced the story, it seems. So are we going to have another Morales situation where people are talking about for the next 5 years? Are we going to see, Seth and his little brother again? Are we going to see them again? I'm just looking forward to it in Q&A. Q&As for the next 5 years for Fear Dead Q&As for people to be doing that. So that's a bit of a problem with me. The other problem is that I like the kid. I thought it was cool. I thought his relationship with Nick was good. He's got like action figures. You guys know I have a soft spot for that, obviously. He puts like red paint on their foreheads. I thought that was really cool. It's like I'm watching a little me here. That's what it is, right? So it's fine. So I thought that was funny, and I thought that was cool, and I like that, and the pills and stuff. And there was some great drama at the end there, of course, too, when they kind of find out what should they do. Should they just go and grab the kids and get out of there? And what's George going to do, and the wife and everything, and it was a good ending to the episode. It seems like Fear, a lot of times, they have it's the episodes for the most part, at least for like out of 40 minutes, maybe the first 30 or the first 25 are, whatever. And then the last 10 or 15 minutes are great. Really, really good. I did like the intro from this one, getting to see the zombies come up to the fence on the beach, the kids playing and stuff, the way it was shot, and not knowing that there's like a fence right there anyway, so they're safe. So that was cool, and it looked great and everything like that. It was good in terms of that. There was a commercial for the Night Manager, which I might check out. It's got Tom Hiddleston. He played Loki, so that's kind of cool. That's on Tuesday, is that what they said? Something like that. So I might check that out. I might do a review for that if it turns out to be good. But it's just a mini-series. It's not a long-running series. But it looks like it's probably going to be pretty good. It looks like AMC is advertising it quite a bit. So we find out about San Diego, find out about all the stuff. They stop at Catrina Island. We've got a lot of different scenes. Strand stays, and Dan decides to stay with him. The family goes in. They meet George, which was cool. We find out that exposition. You've got Madison and George's wife, and they kind of hit it off that they relate to each other well, and she's looking potentially. His wife is looking at giving her kids. Want to find out if maybe that's a good idea to do that. She's got MS, so she in the long term, it's going to be hard for her because in a zombie apocalypse is hard enough to survive. But if you have something wrong with you like MS or something like that, it can make it even worse, or some kind of illness or something. We meet Seth. We've got Dan and Ophelia. We got the mention of the cruel world. I like that. That was kind of neat because Dan is cruel himself too. So I thought that was good. The kids' toys, as I mentioned. Let's see. We had Chris on the fence with Seth, and they're clearing out. Chris, again, just expressing his pain through his anger and killing some zombies to get out his aggression, which is good. Nothing wrong with that. And I like how they look at it kind of as a chore, and Travis is kind of internalizing how the world has changed, that now, rather than them mowing the grass, cutting the lawn, and getting groceries or something, now they have to go and clear the fence from zombies, which reminded me a bit of like The Walking Dead with the prison, which was kind of cool. I did get that kind of vibe because you get them stuck against the fence and that, which is neat. It kind of made me think of that. So, they find out the zombies can't climb, stuff like this. That we already, the problem is, you see, the thing is why it's not intriguing to me or engaging as a viewer is because we already know all this stuff. I know Travis is finding out this stuff and our group is finding this stuff out for the first time, but that isn't always engaging. That isn't always interesting for us to hear them finding out stuff that we've known for 5 years, right? Or 6 years. It has a little bit of kind of that original Walking Dead first couple seasons feel, where they don't have a home base and they start going to different places. They try for different spots and they just kind of travel around a bit without kind of any home. So it kind of makes it as if it's kind of difficult for us to sort of formulate an opinion because the show's kind of, even in terms of location, kind of all over the place. They're traveling around, right? So let's see, we've got the opt-out pills. We find out about that. And then basically the episode, ends as we talked about with the big standoff and stuff between Seth wanting to get his brother back, and he does, putting down his mother. And the group pretty much leaves Strand under question that why do you want to go to Mexico, and got the walkie-talkie and all this stuff, and what are they going to do? So in terms of the score, I'm going to give this one, like an 8.1, I'll do 8.1. I was thinking 8.2, but it's an okay episode. Hopefully it has some kind of bigger ramifications. They did lose that group that seemed to be coming in on the other boat. So, aside from that, it depends if we're ever going to see those two again. If we're not, then this episode could even be a skippable episode, which I don't like. I don't like episodes that you do that just feel like, hey, we're just filling out the season here. We got 15 episodes. We don't really have an engaging story to tell, so we're just going to put in this family here and put in that there. And, it's not really going to serve the greater plot at all. It's just this piece of it where they get some exposition. We find out a little bit about Strand. We meet this family that actually I liked a lot, but they're not going to be in the story past that. So I'm not sure how I feel about this episode. You know, it's done well and everything. The score is good, and I did like the family a lot. And the ending was really exciting. But kind of disappointed that they don't at least take the kid with them or Seth with them, which would, you know, impact the greater story here that they're crafting for season 2. So it's an okay episode for me. Is it skippable? Maybe. You know, maybe it is. It looks like next week we might be seeing the plane crash, and then the Asian lady who I don't think is named yet, and maybe the kid, and we'll have to see how that goes. So that's pretty much all I got to say for episode 2. Kind of a quick review, quicker than I'm used to, because there just isn't as much to talk about as usual. It was an okay episode. Just like the premiere, I think season 2 for Fear the Walking Dead is off to an okay start. Not a great start, not a terrible start, but just okay for me. And, you know, I would have liked to see the kid at least join. I think that would have been cool to see him and Nicholas in that. I think it would have been interesting, and I like their relationship in that. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say for this second episode, man. That's about it. So, you guys, let me know how you felt about it. Write your comments below. Let's hear what you think. How you're feeling about season 2 of Fear. Are you really into it, or are you like, I'm just waiting until next week when Game of Thrones starts? I took the poster down. It actually fell down. I was like, it's a sign. They wanted it down, and it's down. So a lot of people are like, Trev, you don't cover the Daryl with the Game of Thrones sign. So, all right, guys, it's you know, the universe has spoken. I came upstairs, and the Game of Thrones poster was on the floor. So it's a sign, man. It's gonna stay down, so at least for now. So let me know what you guys thought about the episode. That's kind of what I thought. It was all right. It wasn't anything special. So write your comments below if you guys like this video. Please thumb it up below. Please don't forget to thumb it up. I appreciate it. Thanks to everybody for contributing to the Patreon account. I want to thank all you guys very much for doing that. That's super cool. And if you're new to the channel and you want to subscribe, you can subscribe at the bottom left. That's it for this one. I'll see you guys again for the predictions video, maybe about an hour or so for episode 3. And we'll talk about what we think is going to happen there. That's it for this review. See you guys again real soon. So this is Trev saying peace. See you guys.